Okay, today we're gonna talk about breaking 100 for the first time and how easy it actually is. The good news is you don't need much of anything. You don't need to be good at golf to break 100. You just need to think good to break 100. And today we're gonna talk about how to think better and break 100. And the step one to do that is you're gonna leave your ego in the car. Perfect. What do I mean by leave your ego at the door? Well, one, stop pulling your driver out on every single hole. If you've never broken 100 before, you should probably not even use your driver because it's not your strength, otherwise you would have broken 100. Now, having said that, besides leaving your ego at the door on the tee, let's say you hit a perfect first shot with driver or without driver, your approach shot ended up pretty poorly. Maybe you're in the sand, maybe you ended up short because you chunked it. Your ego is going to get you mad. Meanwhile, you need to stay in control of it. So if you watched the previous video about PBR, this is the time to implement PBR. You're not gonna hit all of the greens and regulations. Don't convince yourself that you were going to. You're not gonna hit perfect chip shots every single time. Besides me, don't convince that you're going to hit a great shot every single time. This is not gonna happen. You have to remember that if you've never broken 100 before, pars and bogeys are pretty much like birdies for other people. You wanna celebrate them because you're not gonna get them that often. That's a terrible read. I know you want them and you wanna feel like I can get them all the time, but the reality is you're not going to. So leave your ego at the door and convince yourself that a double bogey is good. And we wanna celebrate that. Oh no, it's a puddle in there. Or bogeys. Bogeys you should be ecstatic about because that is bogey golf and you can break 100 with ease. Here's the thing, the good news is the difference between breaking 100 for the first time and shooting in the 80s is not too much of a difference. Sure, you could say skill-wise, there's a difference, but in reality, it's just someone making better contact, but it's mostly mentally, what am I doing differently to not get in my own way? People that aren't breaking 100, mentally, they're fucking themselves up for no reason. You're hitting driver off the tee every single time. You're making poor decisions. You're hitting clubs that you can't hit. So you want to tell yourself, one, leave your ego at the door and hit a club that you know you can hit 9 times out of 10. I don't care if you take a 9-iron or a pitching wedge off the tee every single time. You're playing from the white tees. It ain't that far. Finally putting my glove back on. Now the tees that we're playing from, they're not that far, right? So you can always use an iron off the tee, even on a par 5, because your par 5 is not gonna be 600 yards. And if it's not 600 yards, there's only 3 200-yard shots, even if it is 600 yards, right? Or you can hit a 170 shot 3 times and you're good. So if you can't leave your ego at the door, I'm gonna show you 2 shots that you wanna have in your arsenal. One, it's just a mid-iron. I got a 6-iron in my hand, I'm just gonna hit it out there. I'm not full swinging. Full swinging is for PGA players and idiots. Which one are you? It's a little to the left. It came back a little bit, but it's perfectly fine. It's out there. Smash that. Why? Because I did not swing too hard. When you swing too hard, you mess up everything. Now, for whatever reason, you cannot leave your ego at the door and you have to pull out the driver. This is the swing you want to do. You have a wedge in your hand and you're hitting a 70-yard wedge shot. A 70-yard wedge shot requires finesse, but you're not full swinging, probably. And you're focusing more on accuracy than distance. And with the driver, to break 100 for the first time, you only need to hit it around 200 yards. So we're just gonna try to hit this nice little chipped driver out there around 200 yards. The other thing that you wanna focus on is, one, not swinging out of your shoes, but try to get your hand, try to have little hands involved in your swing as possible, right? With your wedge, ideally, you're not getting too flippy, you're not moving too much. With the driver, you want the same thing. Just set your hands and turn. Set your hands and turn. 70-yard wedge shot. So we're just going to chip one out there. In fact, you can even try to hit down on the ball. That's fine because you're probably not gonna hit down on the ball. to the left, it's fine. It's not lost. Oh, it hit a tree, right? But the point is, it's not lost, and that's all you need to do to break 100 is don't lose the ball. This is my first shot, 6 iron, 200 yards in the fairway. What do we want to do from here? Same thing. I don't want to full swing any club, whether it be a wedge or an iron or my driver. So I'm gonna club up a little bit and do my 70-yard chip shot with one club higher. At least that's the feeling that I want to go for. Look at that. And we're on. So all we need to do, you need to get dancing. Get your dance shoes on. Now, here's my second shot. The driver, it went around, I want to say 240? It went 250 yards. Why? Because I just hit a soft little chipping driver and I made good contact. The problem with people that are bad golfers not breaking 100, they full swing with the driver and they cause you to spin too much because you don't know how to hit the driver. Why? Because that's my problem. A little short. Oh, it bounced on. But because you don't know how to hit the driver, you full swing and it gets too spinny and it goes nowhere. Besides out of bounds. Look at that. I barely swung with both of those shots and I have 2 green in regulations. Why? Because I made good contact with the ball. I don't need to swing hard, and you don't need to swing hard to break 100. You just need good contact. And if you're not breaking 100, it's probably because you're swinging too hard, because your ego's getting in the way, and you're making poor contact. Make good contact, 70-yard chip shot with all your shots, and just go play some simple golf. Also use the line when you're putting the ball. I'm not gonna use the line on this one because I don't need to. Look at that. Oh. By leaving your ego at the door, you don't want to try to get the green regulation every single time. Especially with a par 3. The par 3, if you ever listen to Golf Sidekick, he talks a lot about changing the pars, adding 1 to every hole. So with a par 3, you change it to a par 4, which means you want to get it on the green in 2. So I can hit it out there and miss, cool, 2 or 3. I can hit out there and miss the green, and I want to tell myself, it's fine, I'll get it on the green after that. So I want to get it on the green in 2, near the hole in 3, and then I can putt it in for 4 or 5. You gotta remember, breaking 100 for the first time, double bogeys, you don't want all of them, but they're gonna happen, and it's fine. Terrible shot, but you know what? It's fine, because we're out there. I clubbed up, I'm in the bunker now, but I clubbed up and I hit it, and we made it to the correct distance, but it's bad accuracy. I'm gonna show you how to play this par 5 twice. It's around 530, 540, depending on how you look at it. I'm gonna play 1 with an iron, and then 2 with the chipped driver. Remember, leave your ego at the door, don't full swing. Now on a par 5, you could full swing a little bit more, but you probably shouldn't because you still want to keep it in play. And if you full swing, you're much more likely to let it go somewhere weird. Remember, full swings are for PGA players and idiots. So we just want to hit this out there. If you have a club you feel more confident in than a 6 iron, hit it. Whatever club you can feel like you can hit it 9 times out of 10, go do that. Hit a little draw on it. I fell over, my balance is off. You know what, it's out there, and we're good. Now I'm gonna show you, how am I gonna full send this? Absolutely not. We're gonna hit it, 70-degree wedge. No hands involved. Try to hit down on the ball. Why? Because you're probably not going to. I hit it off the bottom of the club, but you know what? Because I hit it so lightly, we're out there and we're in the middle of the fairway. It's probably like 200 yards out, but it doesn't matter because we are safe. I only hit this around 180 yards and I have over 300 yards left. So what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna go for it, obviously. I'm just gonna hit another 6 iron. I didn't hit it that well, but we're still gonna have a wedge out there. It's over 200 yards, but guess what? I still have around 250 yards. Could go for it with the 3-wood if I was trying to break 80, but I'm not. So I'm just gonna hit this up there. Just like that. I have 2 pitching wedges left. This is my iron shot and my driver shot is just up there. I have about 139 yards to the middle, 130 to the front, so I'm still gonna hit a soft pitching wedge, hopefully around this tree. That went so high, and it's left. But you know what? It's up there, and it's safe. Ooh, it's a little long. This one I have 120 to the middle. This is my driver one. So I can go a soft pitching wedge, or I can go my 50 degree, and I'm going to just hit my 50 degree. I'm still not full swinging, because all I want to do is get it on. It's about 100 yards to the front. A soft 50 degree will definitely on the green. There we go. And we're on, baby. What you notice is the difference between the result of those, the wedge shot. And that's what it's gonna come down to for most par fives for you, is your final third shot. Everything off the tee, as long as you keep it in play, you're gonna have probably 3 shots left. Ooh. Keep it in play. That's all it really takes. All you wanna do is keep it in play and you're on your way. Why? Because if you lose the ball, you can't play the game. I know Reddit will convince you that if you can't drive 300 yards, you can't play the game, but they're not real. Let's say you just flubbed the tee shot and you're in an awkward position where I have way too far to go for it and it's a par 4. Well, one, don't think about the chunk that you just hit that went 30 yards. Turn this into a par 4. So all you need to tell yourself, leave your ego at the door. Don't try to go for it. Pull out something that you can hit the fairway with and go from there. So I had a 7-iron, I just chipped it out there and we can play it from there. This is my 4th shot. I left that little short 40-yard chip short. That's fine, because I just need a bogey. Now that I got a putter in my hand, I can just get this close to the hole and get a bogey. Leave your ego at the door. Don't get mad when you hit bad shots, because bad shots are gonna happen. And just try to get a putter in your hand as quick as possible. Now from there, we can just hit it and get a bogey and move on with our day. Now I'm not gonna try for this because there's people behind me, but you line it up, hit the putt, look at that, it went in anyway. And that's all you need to do. Keep it simple, leave your ego at the door, and don't try to be a PGA player because you're not one. Here are some things that you want to remember. 1, leave your ego in the car. You bring it on the course, you're gonna have a bad time. What you need to do to break 90 for the first time is keep it in play and have better contact. I'm gonna say a hot take. Course management doesn't matter too much if you don't know how to hit the ball properly. And you don't know how to hit the ball properly because you're not leaving your ego at the door and you're trying too hard. You're getting too much hands involved, you're not turning enough, you're just doing a whole bunch of things wrong. So to get better contact, swing that 70-yard wedge feel with all of your clubs. Slow it down, and I'll guarantee that you're gonna hit better contact with the clubs. And by hitting better contact with the clubs, we're gonna hit more fairways, or at least not out of bounds. And by not hitting it out of bounds, well, I don't know, you're not gonna get more triple, quadruple bogeys. You're not gonna max the holes that you don't need to max in the first place. So off the tee, all you need to think about is, how do I keep it in play? If I keep it in play, I'm on my way. Your second shot, your approach shot, is how do I get it as close to the green as possible? If you get it on the green, great, pat yourself on the back. If you get it near the green, pat yourself on the back, that's what we want, unless it's a par 5. Then you just want to keep it in the fairway and try to get a wedge in your hand for your 3rd shot. But from there, all you want to think about is, how do I get it close to the hole? I got a wedge in my hand now. Don't full swing, don't use a 60 degree. I know Reddit's gonna tell you 60 degree, open it up to a 68 degree. They don't even know what that means. And then you're gonna have to hit a flop shot, but in reality, you're gonna blade it further than your driver ever went, and then it's gonna go over the green and you're gonna have a bad time. 1, just never, don't listen to the internet. I know I'm on the internet, but don't listen to people on the internet. You know what, figure it out yourself, just like I did. But don't listen to people on the internet, because they don't have their best intention for you. They honestly believe, especially Reddit, honestly believes that using your driver on every par 4 and par 5 is gonna get you the best score, when most of the time they're still waiting to post, I broke 100 for the first time in my life. And they've been golfing since they've been kids. If you're feeling attacked, I mean, you should kind of reevaluate some things if that is the case. It's windy out here. I don't know if you can still hear me, but yeah. Besides that, I don't know. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 8 million subscribers by next Wednesday. So you guys got a lot of work to do.